There was a time where I had openers in the back and I would spin it on a wheel, and whatever it landed, I would use as the next call. We used to do this in the live show. Most reps would be like, oh, well, what company?
Yeah, I get paid for the meeting. Let me send it up.
Maybe I'll take it out. Oh, I booked it on the Gmail, bro. Like, we'll just see if it makes sense.
I booked it on the Gmail, bro. That's got to be a meme. All right, welcome back to another episode. This one is going to be a little different than the previous ones. We're actually going to cover the script. I know this is the thing that y'all love. It's one of the most popular trending topics that SDRs, cold callers really want to get into. So we're going to cover it. Every single piece of the framework that we use. And the best part is we're going to have live examples for you to hear, as well as break down the script so you can figure out how to start using it today. Ryan, I'm thrilled about this topic.
Let's dig in, baby.
All right, we're going to dive into a real call example so you can hear Ryan's side only. For legal reasons, we can't do the prospect side. Listen to how he delivers this, and then we're going to break down the script. Here it is.
Ryan Reisert, looking for...
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Yeah, this is Ryan Reisert. You weren't expecting my call. It's actually the first time I've reached you. Was hoping you might be able to help me out for just a brief moment. Oh, I appreciate that. Again, my name is Ryan. I'm calling with a company called... I'm not sure if that name's familiar at all. Okay, no worries. The purpose of the call was really just to see if it would make sense to find some time for an introductory conversation at another time in the future when I'm not just calling you out of the blue here on a Wednesday. Was curious if you might have some time in the next week or two. Yeah, I definitely would want to make sure it's going to be relevant for you. I saw you were the manager of customer success over at... Okay, perfect. So, I'm not sure if this is for you, but, we're working with support and CX leaders who are unhappy with their AI support agents because they're tired of the promise of AI solving tickets when in reality it ends up with frustrated customers that's killing CSAT scores. And in your world today, you all using something like a Zendesk or Ada to solve tickets? Okay, perfect. So, the purpose of the call again is to introduce. We specialize with when other agents are more generalized. We have a highly specialized approach, which means that our AI agents are trained on your specific product issues. And as a result, we have the highest no-touch resolution on the market. But would you be opposed to finding like 10, 15 minutes for an introductory call at some point to map out your current flows?
We're back. It's another episode of your favorite two people on the internet. It's Ronen Passar and my man, Ryan Reisert.
I'm actually a cold caller today. I have to get my hoodie on. I've been calling and I'm cold. I think that's the definition of cold calling. It's the opposite of warm calling for me. Even though the phones were hot.
Dude, someone literally just turned on the AC as you said that. I got to turn this off. Who the hell's playing with this shit? Well, what are we talking about today? I think it's the thing everyone wants to know because every cold caller out on the internet thinks it's all about this, which is the words, the script. It's the thing that you're saying. So, all right, we'll share it. And the beauty of it is it's actually already public. Let's take them through like what the script framework and messaging framework is, how it's been designed this way, because this isn't an accident. This is like, you're getting into the inner depths of the brain of Ryan Reisert and his like 18 years of experience in outbound cold calling. And, even with my own 12 years of experience doing this too, I will say this script hits hard. It gets you what you need. All right, so let's dive into it and see what the framework actually looks like here.
First thing we want to do with this framework is to actually look at the design of the framework, okay? So everything we do in outbound is about trying to, number one, if we go back to buckets, by the way, if you haven't read Outbound Sales No Fluff, chapter 6 of the book, Buckets 101, stage definition and exit criteria at the top of the funnel with the goal of trying to focus on conversations that are closest to revenue first. What we're doing with this framework is an extension of buckets. We're now where the rubber meets the road. We've connected with somebody. And the first thing we're looking to do in buckets is to ensure that, what are we doing? We have the right person at the right account. And we're trying to get them into a completion. In the framework, we're actually designing these gates in order to maximize our probability of getting the information that we're looking for. Remember, in cold calling, fanatical prospecting, there's 4 main outcomes for making calls: gather information, build awareness, set a meeting, move a deal forward. People always focus on the meeting, but they forget about the two most important elements, which are build awareness, gather information. So let's keep sharing this thing. I want to show you the gates. Let's keep showing you these gates here. So the number one gate we have is to confirm that we actually have the right person on the phone. To your point, Ronan, people are going to open up in a couple ways, but it really boils down to either, hey, this is my name, how can I help you, or whatever, or they're just going to say hello. Maybe it's even silence. So depending on that outcome, the two where you don't have a name yet, you're going to use the name. And you don't say I'm looking for, you just say their name. Ronan, right? Now,
Right.
if they say, hey, this is Ronan, then I would say, hey, Ronan, right? And move to the next stage. So the first gate, confirm name. Either they say it or you need to hear them say yes. I can't tell you how many people get connects and pitch and it's not the right person yet. It's a gatekeeper. It's someone else. They go through their whole pitch slap. Very important.
Also,
basic.
I gotta say, this is already the first pattern interruption. If you don't know what a pattern interruption is, it is doing something that doesn't trigger an automatic response. Your brain, 98% of the day, 99% of the day, responds to things automatically. Like best example, you're driving a car, you don't think about every action. You're not turning the steering wheel thinking about it. You're not putting on your blinker. You just do it automatically, right? So we know that brains are designed to make automatic decisions because it saves energy. You want to break that as a cold caller so that you don't get automatically pushed into cold caller, abort call. And the initial one is if they don't say their name, starting a call with, hey, Ryan?
Not even, hey, Ryan.
Ryan?
Ryan? Now, if they say Ryan, hey, Ryan, there's two, that's really important, right? Because you're, again, familiarity.
That's it. That's the key. It's familiarity, right? So it's bringing the pattern. And then, like you said, now we're going into the actual opener.
Now the opener, I got Ronan, whether they say Ronan or they don't, I get it. Ronan.
And look, Ryan,
hello, who? Hey, Ryan. This is
we gotta explain with this opener. This is something that is a raging white hot debate all over LinkedIn and YouTube and wherever there's cold calling tips. There are permission-based openers and non-permission-based openers and gimmicks. Those are the three categories of call openers. The thing you need to know about your opener is you can already risk the rest of the call by lowering your status.
100%. And there's that element of it. There's also with openers, by the way, this is an opener that is tried, true, tested. If anyone's ever followed my content, I literally used to cold call live for like 2 years straight. And there was a time where I had openers in the back and I would spin it on a wheel and whatever it landed, I would use as the next call. We used to do this in the live show. And what I'll tell you is if you're good on the phone, your opener doesn't fucking matter. What I'll also tell you, to your point, is it does create a status level from time to time. It depends on your persona, if that matters, right? Some people are it's the persona and the personality of the person you're trying to reach. So if you get somebody that has the right personality, it can help by doing some of the gimmicks. You get the wrong personality, it's a status thing. But the other thing is, it's all about being consistent and confident. This entire framework is about being consistent, and it's about delivering with confidence with the right tone, pace, etc., which, again, we'll share some examples of me live calling with this in play. But if you have it, this is our recommendation. It's been tried, true, tested. This is the one that I like to use. I workshop this. It's a variation of something I did with Josh Braun and also some work that I did a long time ago with Sean Cease when he used to run the sales development function with the sales developers. He was our SDR manager and he was always testing shit. So the not expecting the call first time I've reached you component of it is a double confirmation of this is a cold call. That's what you're saying right there. You're saying it in a professional way. And then I was hoping you might be able to help me out for a moment is a provision-based opener, but that's professional and psychology's built into it. Most people like to help other people. So
most people like to help. They want to be helpful. Yeah.
So opener dialogue, hot take, make a short on this bad boy.
And
anyway,
I got to say, Ryan, on the openers, I for about 2 years spent a lot of time running my own experiments, testing different openers, and the one that I actually had the most success with for a long time was something that was a little bit more of like call it like a direct hard permission-based opener that was like, I know I'm catching you in the middle of something. I know I'm catching you out of the blue. Do you have a brief moment to talk.
Yeah. Whatever you're consistent and comfortable with. There's some issues with that. As you know, the out of the blue, catching out of the blue is going to get somebody to be like, whatever. The same, you're saying the same thing. You weren't expecting my call, but it sounds more like I'm not saying it in such a way that, we actually use out of the blue later in this section. So it's not like it's a bad thing, but the reality is, like I said, it's about consistency and confidence. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I've used to use the connect and sell opener like the gospel, right? 27 seconds, right? I know I'm an interruption. That's your version of out of the blue. I know I'm an interruption. Can I have 27 seconds to tell you exactly why I called? If you deliver that with the right tone and approach, it actually works pretty well. It's become a gimmick, but it doesn't matter.
A gimmick.
It doesn't really matter as long as you're consistent and confident. What I'm sharing here, or what we share here, is what we run consistently every time. And it has, if we looked at, I actually did this presentation in the community. We have these gates, and you should have your percentages that you're tracking to determine if you're moving through the gate. If you're not getting over 90% of your people to let you move forward, you're fucking up, right? Now, there are some people that are busy, they're driving, whatever, those connecting completes that you may not even want to proceed with. But if your opener is getting shut down more than 1 out of 10 times, you really need to make an adjustment. I would really try to target 95% or higher success rate. So 1 out of 20 times, you might get somebody to say fuck off or whatever. But this thing here, if you listen to my calls, Ronan, you know this to be true. Well, plenty of examples here. I hardly ever get somebody to not say, well, it depends. What is this about? How can I help you? Something of that nature. Do I know you? Whatever. Okay, great. That's that section.
This is the key. They're engaged with you. They're curious who you are. You use the word help. Maybe that triggers wanting to be helpful, which takes them into the whole next point of what you're trying to do here in order to get to the conversation. So what's
super important?
What's this next part of the framework?
Super important, and everyone likes to try to harp on this one, especially junior callers that get shot down, and they're like, why would I ask? It's a no. Or someone else is going to be like, why would we say something that's going to be a no? The whole point is to start to establish a two-way dialogue. So now that we've gotten through confirming the name, we at least have the name of the person we want on the phone. We've got permission to continue this conversation. We now want to establish dialogue, right? We're trying to say something quickly to get them talk again. We just got them to say something ahead of time, and now we're doing it again. We're building momentum in the conversation. So very basic, and we're also answering questions because we didn't use our company name in the opener. Big key. That's another big key here that we missed. You don't want to say, this is Ryan with company. You weren't expecting my call, because
this is huge. This is huge. I feel like everyone out there, even when I give candidates who are trying the calling out for us live, they often, as a habit, habitually, will just say, oh, it's Ronan with Call Blitz. Don't say that when you're opening the call. It immediately triggers that automatic response from the prospect. This is a cold call. It's a salesperson. I want out.
Correct.
And so triggering that automatic response.
Correct. And we missed that earlier, and that's key to that opener, right? You don't want to use the company name. You just want to use your name. By the way, this is professionalism, because I want to answer those questions. Who is this? Why are you calling? What is this about? And,
it's the two big questions every single prospect has. Every single prospect wants to know, who are you? What is this about? Well, I'm Ronan Passar. You weren't expecting this. The first time I've reached you. I want help. Okay, well, what do you want help with? Well, fantastic. Again, my name is Ronan. I'm calling with, now I can say the company name, Call Blitz. Not sure if that's familiar. I'm starting to answer the what this is about now.
And I'm also answering the things that are super vital for compliance, right? When you cold call someone, you needed to give your name and your company. We just answer those questions up front.
Nice.
There's also in this case here, the establishing of the two-way dialogue. You don't just say, I'm calling with company, and then move on to your pitch. We're asking a simple question that they can answer to move forward. We don't care what their answer is. Did they know us or not? Most people who are in their cold calling aren't blessed with marketing, so they're going to say no. Now, sometimes people do know you, and you can be like, oh, that's fantastic. Move on to the next phase. If they're a company that actually works with really relevant, this credibility statement is only using names, really, really powerful if you can use them. Most people that we work with are earlier stage companies. They don't have this as a powerful setting, but I do have one client now that can use this, where this is fucking money, right?
Dynamite.
They've been around for 40 years. They have the who's
key
who's.
to the credibility is like, if you can use it, it's social currency. It's social proof. It's proof that you're worth something because, oh, yeah, not a problem. We work with companies like Apple, Facebook, and Google. Have you ever heard of those companies before? It's like, now, I'm sure you watching this, you know those company names, which is why I use them. The whole point is when I say that, it raises my status as being somebody who is worthy because I'm working with companies that my prospects should be really familiar with. But if you don't have this, the
don't
point
use it.
is don't use it. Just keep
use it.
through.
Move forward. The other key with the credibility statement is just because you have big logos doesn't mean should use them. So an example would be if you did work with Apple, Facebook, and Google, but you're calling some small ass tech company, don't use them. They're going to be like,
right.
It's not relevant, right? It needs to be relevant and credible in the industry.
The best is going to be the prospect's competitor.
Correct.
We're working with your biggest competitor, or like we're working with someone you definitely know.
Exactly. So like in management control situation, like they have the who's in each industry vertical. They basically work with the market leaders in almost all of them. So if they're selling into oil and gas, it's like Shell, Exxon, BP. If they're selling into paper and mills, they work with International Paper. Steel, they have US Steel. If they're in mining, they have Rio Tinto. These are all the biggest companies in the world in their segment. So they map it, and it's actually mapped in their playbook. So very powerful. If you don't have that, don't use it. Move to the next one. This one here is the ultimate pattern interrupt. So this is a modification from Townsend Wardlaw's art of cold calling. If you guys haven't followed my content, etc., another thing we can link in here. So I'm sorry, I'm saying we're going to link a bunch of shit, Ronins. This pattern interrupt is the number one thing that everyone gets uncomfortable with, and it's extremely powerful. The design of this is not to do what most people think it's intended to do.
Just read this real quick. We'll read this real quickly. The purpose of my call today is to see if it would make sense to schedule an introductory conversation at another time when I'm not calling you out of the blue. Do you have time for a brief intro call next Tuesday or Wednesday? That feels wildly uncomfortable to say because I know as a caller that my prospect is going to be thinking one really clear thought. What is this call about? You haven't told me anything yet. And that's the point.
That's the point. That's the point.
Whole pattern interruption. If I could do the wow, I would do that while zooming in and out here. But like the pattern interruption at this point.
Let me do it for you.
Thank you, Ryan. Interrupt their typical thought process, which from right here, they're expecting a pitch.
That's right.
Instead of hitting them with a pitch, I want to keep them super engaged with me without getting into the science of it. It's called System 1 and System 2 thinking. I want to keep them in System 2, which is very effortful thought. I want to keep them with me instead of System 1, which is automatic. And by doing that, I'm going to say, this is why I'm calling you, and not tell them what I do. Yet, the response, 90% of the time, is always the same. I don't know what you do. Can you just tell me what you do already? What is this call about?
Depends. What is this about? I need to know more. Again, we'll show some examples of this, literally just running it today. The key here, though, is there will be some people that say, sure, I'd be happy to. So don't book right here. That's not the point. So don't schedule. There will be reps like, I use this framework and it's amazing. I'm asking for the meeting. They're taking it and I'm booking them. Oh, come on, guys. That's not the point. The point is to get them to say what we do. So even if they say yes at this point, you need to proceed. You have to get to completion. They have no idea what you do yet. Next phase. I don't even know if
I have the right person yet, by the way.
I don't even know. I know I have the name. I don't know if I have the right person. Which we could talk about the data. This is why I have all the data on right name, wrong person. Because I'm telling you right now, there's people that are watching this that have booked meetings with people that are not the right fucking people. They do it all the time. They're booking meetings with people that aren't even at the right companies, which is crazy to me. And then they just try to make it into something. I did this today where I went through this whole thing with this lady. She's like, yeah, that sounds great. She would have booked at the pattern. I was like, well, let me make sure it makes sense first. Okay, yep. Yeah, we used to use Zendesk and Jira. Yep, I'm very familiar with that. Oh, fantastic. So I was helping. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's book it. Get to the end. I'm like, all right, what's the best email for you? I have first.last at company. She's like, no. Use my Gmail. I'm like, well, you're not there anymore? She's like, no. I haven't been there for a while. So I'm like, oh, well, this isn't going to make sense for you, but do you know somebody? And she got me a referral. But most reps would be like, oh, well, what company now?
I get paid for the meeting. Let me set it up.
Maybe I'll take it now. So,
and then the poor AE is showing up, wasting their time with this person. And
I booked it on the Gmail, bro. Like, we'll just see if it makes sense.
I booked it on the Gmail, bro. That's got to be a meme. Oh my god, let's totally make that a meme. That's hilarious.
And unfortunately, even recently, I've worked with people that are like, oh yeah, book those. It could be still good conversations. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Anyway, firm target. We need to make sure, yes, let me make sure it's going to be relevant to you. I have you as title of companies. That's still correct. Now, very, very important instance here is too as well is that this framework works for about 75% of personalities. If you get a strong, so there's 4 different main personality types, right? You have fighter, entertainer, detective, counselor. A fighter is going to get frustrated at this point. And most reps, if they sell to a lot of fighters, they're like, I can't use this because they get so frustrated. It's like, that's fine. That's information. If you lose them here, because they're like, just tell me what you do. That's okay. You're just going to collect the information and then try back with a more direct approach where you might not use the pattern interrupt. But for about 75-80% of the time, you're going to get them to say, it depends, what do you do, in some format of that. I would need to know what you need. I would need to know more about what you do. Well, Ryan, you still haven't told me. Or best one, when you sell to salespeople, this is kind of a terrible call.
This is such a bad pitch. I love that.
This is such a terrible pitch.
You haven't even. Sales leaders are like, listen, bro,
you're gonna call me.
You haven't even told me yet what you do. You should probably just get to the pitch and reconsider your life choices. It's like, okay, this literally just worked even better on you.
Yeah, the best one is where the best one ever, and I used to have a recording of this. Is like, hey Ryan, I've been in sales for 10 years. Do you a favor, write this down. SANDLER training, Sandler sales training. Go watch all the YouTube clips you can, and you'll be better next time. Okay, so you're gonna get some of that. But that's not. But for the most part, the point is you move forward. Now we're going to confirm title.
Yep.
I want to do this, and this is important because your data might have the wrong person. They might not be in the company anymore. You also might have right name, wrong person.
Let's drive this one home real fast because this one's straightforward. It's either you got the right person or you don't. And what you're doing with the title check is you're confirming, before I carry on, do I have the right person or not? What is it? 10 to 15% of people on a list are going to be the right name, but not the person you thought they were. Literally, it's a different Ronan Pesar, a different Ryan Meister.
Just had a Juan today. Again, all these things in one session of calling, I did them all. Okay, now we move into pitch. Now pitch and the rest of this stuff is pretty straightforward, although there's 2 things I want to highlight here, and then we kind of wrap this up. You guys can listen to some of the live examples of this, but the pitch, there's a couple psychologies in here, right? So confirm role, and then you can say, perfect, I'm not even sure if this is for you. Again, some psychology here. I'm not saying I'm going to ram this down your throat. I'm not even sure this is for you, but we typically serve their role or title, and now you want to explain the world that they live in a jobs to be done framework in some way. There's lots of different ways that you can approach this, but that's for a later stage. We should go through some examples of this. There's lots of good ones you can hear, but you put in your pitch. Now you want to put into, it's not the full pitch yet. It's like explaining where they're at. I'm showing you that I know you. And then you're going to ask a question, right? So this question, this example we have in here is not as good as the ones we have now, where based on the show me you know me, you're going to move into something where I'm basically trying to overcome, especially when you have install base, I'm trying to overcome the fact that you're going to say, we're good, we already have that. So for Quack, the example, you guys will see examples from calling today.
I could show you real quickly. This was a framework I used to live and die by. I called it the probe and the provoke. But the whole concept is you go into when it comes to a certain process or goal, do you already have a way to describe, and you want to describe the most ideal outcome. So back with Stylo, it was out of curiosity, when it comes to seeing your most frustrated customers, do you already have a way to spot them from the thousands of cases you get every month before they turn into a fire drill and churn?
Well, that's what we have right here. This is another example we have right here. But what I'm saying is there's even a better way to do it. It's so I'm assuming with Quack, it's like this. So I'm assuming today you already have an AI agent like a Zendesk or an Ada. So I'm actually overcoming the fact that most people are going to say, I already have AI support. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm assuming this.
It's the scene from 8 Mile when Eminem in the final battle.
I know something about you.
I am white. And he starts dissing himself, and then Clarence, his opponent, has nothing left to say about him because he already prefaced everything that the person was going to say at the beginning. And it's with this client you're talking about, to start it with the initial objection. Hey, is it already safe to assume you're probably already a little bit wary of AI tools, maybe using one, and you're not getting the kind of results you thought you were going to see from having an AI agent handle your support cases?
Yeah.
If you start with an element like that, now you're already moving past the initial objection of like, yeah, we already have a thing. It's like, well, yeah, I know you do. I'm saying you do, and that's why I'm calling.
Another example of that right now is, we're working with folks before we, especially if you have credibility, like before we started working with these other companies that are like you, they had a really strong process and suite of tools to do all these other things. But what's missing is this little thing that we do a little bit better. But I'm assuming today you're probably using something like a SAP. And then maybe like this, like, yep, okay, exactly. So we already layered in we're the missing piece in that. That's exactly what I'm calling. So there's some really strong examples in here, but let's move forward. The question should open up dialogue and then move into perfect. That's exactly what I was calling. Would you be opposed? Now we go back to that pattern interrupt. Would you be opposed to finding some time? Now you can either just say that. If you have something of value that you're actually going to accomplish in the call, it's helpful there too. Like, would you be opposed to finding some time? Another example of this too would be if I could show you. So if you have if you have really strong results that you can share in management controls, I keep referencing them as well. Their business value proposition is extremely valuable. For every $10 million in spend that goes to their platform, they save companies $1 million. So, and that's huge because most of the people are spending hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
If I could show you that you're able to save X dollars for every.
If we could show you that it's possible to start saving $1 million for every $10 million in contractor spend coming through your site, would that be worth 10, 15 minutes at some point in the next week or two?
I love that, Ryan. And, I don't know if you sent me this book or not, but I know this is from you. If you guys can see this, it's what's it called?
Exactly what to say.
Exactly what to say. It's a guide of magical phrases and words by Phil M. Jones. And the very first one on here says, I'm not sure if it's for you, but that is exactly how we start the pitch. It's disarming. Look, I don't know if this is for you or not, but now I start the pitch. A few other cold call specific magical words. This is one that I learned years ago from Chris Voss. I did his Black Swan training. Love the book. Lots of folks out there probably love Chris Voss. Is the concept of going for no.
Yep.
It's when you phrase
would you be opposed?
Question. Would you be opposed? Would it be a terrible idea? Would it be an absolute waste of time if? To go for the no, which is kind of the yes disguised as a no, it's easier for people to say, no, that wouldn't be a terrible waste of time, or no, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Our brains are wired to want to go to no easier and faster than we want to go to yes. So using this small switch, instead of saying, do you have time for a demo? Would it be insane if we found 30 minutes next week where we could explore if this is a fit for you or not by showing you a demonstration? So the difference is, no, it wouldn't be insane. No, it wouldn't be a waste of time. As opposed to, yes, let's set up a demo. Do you have 30 minutes? Yes, I have 30 minutes. Or no, I don't have 30 minutes. I don't want to talk to you. So go for no in the question phraseology. It's just another one of those little things. You put all these together and magic starts to happen.
Love it. Now, I know this is a longer video and it's also going to be accompanied by some live examples that you may or may not have already watched throughout this process. But if you like this type of content, you want to see more of it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit us up on all the channels. If you haven't actually seen the content machine going, we're going to be doing this every single day. Get into the comments. Let us know what you want to see, what you like, what you hate. And also talk some shit. I'm waiting for the haters. Bring it.
And absolutely smash the subscribe button because we've got a video coming out every single day and a whole lot more. Follow Ryan and myself on LinkedIn and all the channels as well. Also, if you want to reach out to us, the best channel will be LinkedIn. Feel free to drop a DM. Again, I'm Ronan Pesar with my partner Ryan Reiser. We're Outbound Operators. We'll see you next time.